Jai Hind. Myself Dr. Amita Asthana from Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, Ghaziabad. Here in this video lecture, I will be explaining the topic operational amplifier from third unit. The subject code of this subject is BEC 101 and the target students are first year. And here in this particular circuit, we will study all the concept of operational amplifier. This is basically an integrated chip of number IC 741. This is 741 IC. Okay. Here it has two inputs. First is non-inverting and another input is inverting. So it has two inputs and one output. Okay. One terminal, if you give input to inverting terminal, it will change the phase of the input waveform by 180 degree, right? And if you are giving input to input 1 non-inverting terminal, it will not change the phase of the output waveform, right? So this is how the inverting and non-inverting terminals are working. Basically, operational amplifier has so large gain. If we talk of ideal op-amp, then we consider that the gain of the op-amp is infinite for ideal op-amp, but operational amplifier for practical usage and it is the gain is large for the practical op-amp. It is very high, right? Why we are using this operational amplifier? Because of the input impedance of the op-amp to be very high, and that input impedance is typically a few mega ohms, and the output impedance of the op-amp operational amplifier is very low, and that is less than 100 ohms. So just because of it has a large gain, it has a large input impedance and it has low output impedance, we are using this operational amplifier, right? This is the equivalent circuit of the op-amp, in which we can see there is one input impedance Zi, and this input impedance is connected between the negative terminal of the op-amp and positive terminal of the op-amp. That means the inverting terminal of the op-amp and non-inverting terminal of the op-amp. This is the output impedance, which I told that is very low. This output impedance is very low. This input impedance is very high. And if we give V1 voltage to our inverting terminal and V2 voltage to our non-inverting terminal, then the gain of the op-amp is A into V2 minus V1. We are putting a minus sign here because the V2 is given at the positive terminal and the V1 is given at the inverting terminal. So we have this output voltage. Now we have two more the inputs. This is DC supply. For this IC to work, we give plus V supply and minus V supply, because the op-amp IC needs some DC voltage to operate. So we have a point that we are giving two inputs V1 and V2 at inverting and non-inverting terminal. The plus V and minus V are given to the op-amp just to ensure the proper functioning of the op-amp. The input impedance between negative and positive terminal, it is very high, and the output impedance is very low. So here now we will see the op-amp concepts. the op-amp basically it is working in two configurations. First is open loop and second is the closed loop of the op-amp configuration. Okay, so there are two configurations basically, the open loop configuration and the closed loop configuration of the op-amp. So for open loop, the gain can exceed up to 10,000. The gain of the op-amp is very high in open loop configuration. Okay, but closed loop configuration is stable, but it is reducing the gain, but it is stable configuration, that is closed loop configuration, and whatever gain, the practical circuits are always made in closed loop configuration of the op-amp. A negative feedback reduces the gain but improves many characteristics of the op-amp that we will see. So for ensuring the closed loop configuration of the op-amp, we must check whether the negative terminal is connected to the output or not. That is very important mandatory requirement for the op-amp to work in the closed loop configuration for much more stability, right? Now we will understand few important concepts of the op-amp. Here we can see there is a closed loop configuration in the figure. So output is connected to the inverting terminal of the op-amp through the resistance RF, right? Okay. The non-inverting terminal of the op-amp, this particular terminal, it is connected to the ground. So if the op-amp is ideal, you know, the op-amp is ideal, if the op-amp is ideal, let's say, then we can say the closed loop configuration because RF is connected between VO or output to negative terminal of op-amp, right? So one more important characteristics of op-amp to understand is that if we have these two requirements are fulfilled, let's say first is the op-amp is ideal and it is working in closed loop configuration, right? Then third requirement, which is mandatory, we say that it should follow the virtual ground concept. Virtual ground concept, right? So this is mandatory requirement for the op-amp. It should follow the virtual ground concept. Now we must understand the virtual ground concept for the op-amp. It simply means that voltage of this particular terminal, let's say this point is B and this point is A, right? So the voltage of this particular terminal, let's say it is V1 and voltage of this terminal is V2. Then from virtual ground concept, we say that V1 is equal to V2, right? The voltage of point A is equal to the voltage of point B. So V1 voltage is equal to V2 and this is known as the virtual ground concept of the op-amp. Now we will consider some numerical concept for the op-amp. which are very, very important, applying the Kirchhoff current law, and then we will check whether these three conditions are satisfied or not, right? Let's say we will consider one numerical for the op amp. This I have made the op amp. Here I am taking the output. Let's say the output voltage is VO. Now there are two voltages I am giving at the negative terminal of the op amp. Let's say 2 volts. And here I am giving one voltage, that is 3 volt. Now here I am giving $5 supply from this terminal. To ensure the proper functioning of the op amp, I will connect one feedback resistance between this inverting terminal and output of the waveform. This I am doing, right? So let's say this particular is 7 kilo ohm. Now this is also, let's say this is 5 volts. Sorry. Five kilo ohm resistance. This is also 5 kilo ohm resistance. This is 5 kilo ohm. Again, this is also, let's say, 5 kilo ohm resistance, right? Now the question is asking what should be the output voltage of the op amp. The question is asking what is the output voltage. Calculate the output voltage of op amp. This is the question. For the given diagram, calculate the output voltage for the op. So how we will start the numerical and how we will go through, right? So when I am telling you, you have to strictly follow the steps for solving the numerical. Now step 1, you would write in step 1, consider op amp to be ideal. Op amp is ideal. Okay, write down the first step, simple, straight. You have to tell the examiner that you are considering op amp to be ideal op amp, right? So you will write your first step. Step by step you will answer the question, right? And step by step you will solve it, so that if, let's say, the final answer is anyhow you are not getting the final answer to be very, very right, the steps are clear and you can score some marks in that particular question if you are attempting, right? You can score marks for the steps also. So step 1, op amp is ideal, and then we will go to step 2. In step 2, we will write from virtual ground concept this point voltage A, let's say the voltage is VA, VB, then you will write VA is equal to, right? Then you will go for step 3. Right? You will go for step 3. The step 3, you will ensure that feedback is connected between the output or negative terminal or not. So you have to tell the feedback resistance is connected between the output and negative terminal of the op-amp. Now, after these three observations, you will go to step 4. These step 1, op-amp is ideal. The 2-point voltages are equal from virtual ground concept. Step 3 is feedback resistance is connected between the inverting terminal and output terminal of the op-amp. Now, after these 3 steps, you will go to step 4. Step 4 is applying the Kirchhoff current law. See here, I am doing this on this but same slide because my numerical is here. So I will write my step 4. Okay. My step 4. Step 4, apply Kirchhoff current law at node A. Right. So let's say here, let's say this 2-volt branch battery gives current I1. This is giving some current I2, and there would be no current in the op-amp because in the ideal op-amp offers infinite input impedance. There would be no current inside the op-amp. Whatever current will flow, that will go to the feedback resistance I. So here I can say that I1 plus I2 is equal to I. Simply I am applying the Kirchhoff current law at node A. Here I1 is what? 2 minus VA upon potential drop of the 2 points upon resistance 5 kilo ohm, 5 into 10 raised to the power 3, plus this current I2, 3 minus VA, voltage upon resistance, voltage difference upon resistance 5 into 10 raised to the power 3 is equal to I is VA minus VO upon 7 into 10 raised to the power 3. This is my equation number 1. Right. There are 2 variables in this particular equation. First is my VA and second one is VO. I don't know the value of VA here. So, but we have virtual ground concept that VA is equal to VB. If somehow I can find out VB, then I will put VA is equal to VB and I will write that value VB in my first equation and then I will solve. So how I will calculate my value VA? So in this, see, this 5 volt voltage, there would be no current inside the op-amp. So this circuit is an individual circuit, right? Whatever voltage we are giving from this particular terminal, that is appearing some voltage across this 5 kilo ohm and rest of the voltage across this 5 kilo. Since these two resistances are equal, so they will have the same voltage. That means if this resistance is taking 2.5 volt, this will also take, this resistance will take 2.5 volts. This is happening because of the voltage divider rule. Because these two resistances are equal, then because that's why I am writing it as that the VB is equal to 2.5, 2.5. If the two resistances are not equal, then you will apply the voltage divider rule and you will solve the questions. You can also apply some KCL at this particular point and you can get the voltage, right? So here, what is the voltage? If I write this as, from voltage divider, how I am finding VB is 5 into 2.5 upon 2.5 plus 2.5. Okay, this is my voltage divider rule. So this will give me VB as 2.5 volts, right? 2.5 upon 5, 5 cancel and VB will be equal to 2.5 volts. So here this VB is 2.5 volts, which already I considered as 2.5 volt because the resistances were equal. So I simply applied the voltage divider rule, right? Now what we can do is, now I will put VA, since VB is equal to 2.5 volts. VB I have calculated and that is coming to be equal 2.5 volts, and from VGC VA is equal to VB is equal to 2.5. Now I will put in equation, put VA is equal to 2.5 volts and solve the question. So 2 minus VA, that means 2 minus 2.5 upon 5 into 10, these 10 raised to the power 3 will cancel out, upon 5 plus 3 minus 2.5 upon 5 is equal to 2.5 minus VO upon 7. So I can solve this. This will be equal to minus 0.5 upon 5 plus 0.5 upon 5 is equal to 2.5 minus VO upon 7, and this is what we are getting it as 0. So this will be 0 is equal to 2.5 minus VO upon 7, and hence VO is equal to 2.5 volts. This will be the final answer. So there are 4 steps in which we can solve the given numerical for the op-amp. So you have to do the numerical step by step. Step 1, you will write op-amp is ideal. Second, you will apply the VGC, virtual ground concept, making the 2 node voltage to be equal. Third, you will ensure the proper connection between input and negative terminal by some feedback resistance if it is working in closed loop. And then fourth is, you will apply Kirchhoff current law at node A, and then you will make the equation and solve for the output voltage. Thanks.